152 million Americans are going to be shopping on Friday. That's a lot. Half the country. How do we turn the fear into optimism? It can begin in Washington with a deal. Now, we know we didn't get one with the super committee, and you know how we felt about that. Pretty passionately and pretty upset. But there's another chance coming up. That's the extension of the payroll tax cut, which saves Americans $1,000 in taxes a year. There are other things on the table as well. Can Congress get it done? Let's ask one of its members tonight, Congressman Michael Grimm, a Republican from New York. And hopefully not with a grim forecast here. So we're talking about the markets.
Absolutely not.
All right, so let me ask you, what happened this week? It was atrocious. It was offensive. It upset Americans of both political parties.
Sure.
You were a member of a Republican who signed on to a letter that said everything should be on the table. Revenues and cuts.
That's correct.
There were 140 of you guys, right? Maybe even more, a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And yet,
over 150.
The 12 guys on the super committee couldn't do a deal. Why?
Well, in all sincerity, I think it's because when the country is this polarized, and when you're trying to tackle as big a job as they are, I mean, this is big, tax reform and things like this. These are not small issues. You need true leadership from the top, and that's why we really needed the president to come in and lead a little bit, and that hasn't happened. And you've seen other presidents do it. President Clinton did it. President Reagan did it.
He says he was asked to stay out, and so he was doing what he was asked. I mean, that's his side of it.
True. Well, because he started from the very beginning saying, well, if there's certain things in it, I'll veto it. So he started a bad precedent, and that's why they said, you know what, leave it to us. So they kind of pushed him away. But if he would have started with leadership from the very beginning, I think we would have had a different outcome. But what I really want to say is, let's not panic yet. That's the worst thing that we can do. This bipartisan effort that you just mentioned, over 150 of us, including Senate, House, Republican, Democrats, are working on a $4 trillion deal. I think we can really put a lot of pressure on the leadership to bring that to the floor and hopefully go even bigger than what the super committee was going to do.
So you think you could still, there's still a way to do, and by the way, $4 trillion for people out there, that is a grand bargain. That is a number that would prevent more downgrades and last for a long time. That's a transformational
You just hit on something that's extremely important. You're right. It's about preventing further downgrades. And how do we really do that? By instilling confidence, not only in the people here in the United States, but throughout the world, that says, we understand we're in a debt crisis, but we do have a long-term plan. We're serious, and we're going to start implementing it now. And that's what the world is looking for, true leadership.
All right, so when we look at the $4 trillion, we'd always thrown up this simple math, and I know everyone wants fundamental tax reform, and it would be great if we could get it. All right, but in lieu of that, Bush tax cuts go away, $2.8 trillion, you match it with $2.8 trillion in cuts.
That would be horrendous.
But it gets you $5.6 trillion.
Right, but it also cripples the economy. You have to understand something. At a time where there's already a constriction in the economy, we're trying to incentivize and motivate those that create jobs. If we start job-killing taxes on the very job creators that we're looking to help stimulate the economy, we take a step backwards. So it's very delicate, it's very difficult. Can we definitely increase revenue? Certainly, but through closing loopholes, through getting some of the 51% of Americans that don't pay any taxes now, having them have some skin in the game, federal taxes, having them have some skin in the game. So yeah, there's ways we can increase revenue, but we don't want to start tax increases, tax hikes that would be job killing across the board. That would be a mistake.
And I think people understand that and get that, but when they look at people over $1 million, not even the $250,000 line, which is a different line, but over $1 million, and they say, all right, having your income be taxed at 35% now, going up to 39.6%, that is a 13% increase on the money over $250,000. It's not that much.
Right. I understand. Just keep in mind one thing. These are also the people that spend a lot of money out there at restaurants. They're the ones buying, new cars, buying, even, I know it was under attack. The yacht boating industry was under attack. Guess what?
Yes,
there's a lot of people that make 50, 60, 70,000 a year making those boats and yachts. We don't want to put those industries under either. So we want to promote everyone. And I believe, when the levels rise, all boats rise with it.
So you think that a $4 trillion deal, with the position that you have on taxes, is possible, that Congress could surprise us?
And like I said from the beginning, I'm willing, for the purpose of the discussions, to put everything on the table. I don't want to go in with any preconditions. I don't want to come in and say, well, I won't even discuss taxes on millions, or I won't discuss this. Everything is open for discussion, but let's start where we have common ground and work our way out. Where I think the country's been going in the wrong direction as far as the Congress is that we're working where we have problems, where we disagree, and trying to work our way in. Let's start with the common ground. I think that would be the best for America, and it would instill some confidence. And also, it's very important that the people believe that our electeds can get the job done and that we can work together. But that is going to take leadership at the top.
It is. You get that confidence in Congress.
Yeah.
in Wall Street and banks.
Well, there's many
It
of
would
us,
make a huge difference.
There's many of us
future
that
of the country.
believe that the economy is so bad that President Obama doesn't want us to come to a consensus, because this way he has someone to blame for his failed policies. So that is something that Republicans think a lot about, and it certainly does appear that way.
All right, well, thank you very much, Representative Grimm. Appreciate your taking the time to be with us.
Thank you.
All right, well, it's a busy day at airports around the nation, as you know. And